This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander, and I'm joined today by Greg Bartz. Greg is an editor with Waterline online magazine. And there's a lot to see there at that website. And Greg, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join us.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I noticed that a lot of folks at Waterline have the title of captain in front of their names. We were talking about titles offline, but that's one that's that's a pretty cool title. Yeah, captain.
Absolutely.
So are you a captain as well?
No, not necessarily. A lot of those guys use the captain title because a lot of them do charter fishing trips. They're taking people out, they're being hired. I do a lot more tournament fishing. I'm I fish in the FLW Toyota series here in the Southeastern division, I believe it is now this year, they called it.
Right.
So I kind of fly under the professional label for bass fishing rather than, don't really do not a hired gun, so to speak.
Yeah. And so with tournament fishing, I mean, that's like a whole season, right? I mean, is that throughout the year or is it broken up over certain months, or how does that work exactly?
Yeah, what the FLW does is they have a bunch of different divisions. They got divisions for the college fishing. They got divisions at the high school level, and they graduate up. They've got different series. I'm in the one that's, if people are familiar with the Major League Fishing that they see on TV, the Bass Pro Tour. Yeah. I'm 2 levels below that. There is 1 level in between that and where I am. And what we do is there's smaller scaled down tournaments, but through that, you can qualify your way up into that MLF Bass Pro Tour series. So we fish 3 a year. At the end of the year, if you qualify in, I believe it's top 25 or are a winner of one of the events, you automatically qualify to fish for, I think the payout for first place is $235,000 at the season ender.
Wow.
And depending on where you land, if you're good enough, you move into the next level.
That's pretty cool. So how's it looking for you this year?
Horrible. This is my first year doing this.
Okay.
I have learned a lot already. Much like I continue to learn with my RV, I am learning a lot in the bass fishing world as far as this type of tournament fishing. I've been tournament fishing for well over 20 years.
Yeah. But
this is a whole different level. It's a whole different game. So
yeah,
much different.
It sure sounds it, and I would imagine the competition is rather stiff, and some real pros out there, kind of knowing their way around the waters.
Yeah, some of the people that are familiar to Florida obviously will know Roland Martin, Terry Scroggins, Preston Clark. They've all been to the Classic numerous times. Peter Tilaveros, and those are the guys that I'm fishing against. So yeah, okay. You're thrust right into the big leagues real quick.
Terry Scroggins, that just sounds like a fisherman name, doesn't it? It's just like that's like something that's made up for a movie script, Like old Terry Scroggins,
And he goes by the nickname of Big Show. Terry's
Big
a good
Show?
guy.
He's Big Show Scroggins?
Yep.
Wow.
He's a good guy. He's done really well for himself on a national level. So he's really good, and he's a local to Florida. So interesting guy.
Cool. Well, listen, there's a lot more we want to learn about, and particularly about Waterline magazine and some of the writing that you do and everything else. So let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. My guest is Greg Bartz. This is Tom Alexander for the RV Advisor Podcast. Back in a moment.
RV owners, it's no secret that those manufacturers' warranties just don't cut it. Get the peace of mind you deserve and step up to the RV Advisor Extended Warranty Plan. Visit thervadvisor.com or call 833-229-0911. That's 833-229-0911.
We are back on the RV Advisor podcast. My name's Tom Alexander, and of course, my guest today is Greg Bartz, and he's with Waterline online magazine. And I'm looking at the site here off to the side, and boy, real comprehensive. I mean, there's a lot of things. If you're a fisherman, and I think fishing and RVing kind of tend to go hand in glove. They're right next to each other. A lot of fishermen are also full-time RVers. Are you a full-time? I know you said you have an RV. Are you a full-time RVer?
As far as living in it permanently, no.
Uh-huh.
We still have our place here in Lakeland, and we do use it quite often. My fishing, I take it when we go. I got a friend of mine that follows along, and then when we get up there, we stay in the RV, and he puts the boat in and out of the water for me. But yeah, we try to use our RV, at least every month, if not twice a month, if we can get away with it.
Yeah, and what better place to have? You're at maybe a lake somewhere or wherever you're fishing, and there, and home is literally just a few feet away, right? You just, it's perfect. It's a perfect scenario, and I can't, we obviously have to say that during this time we're recording, and over the past several weeks that we've done these shows, we're obviously in the midst of a world crisis, a global pandemic, and so people are having to, move along with the times and make those adjustments that we're all trying to do. And how's it going for you guys? Are everybody in your immediate orbit pretty safe?
Yeah, we're doing, we're following the rules. We're staying home as much as we, possibly can without having to run to the store or put gas in a vehicle for, making those trips or whatever we're doing.
Right.
We are still getting out though. Weekend before last, we took the RV and went up to the lake and brought the boat. We always make sure we find a spot on the water where we can put the boat in. And with the RV, I guess the beauty of it is we're still self-contained. It's still just my wife and I. And for us, that's an important thing because my wife has a slight immune deficiency due to some cancer issues. So for us, it's very important. So yeah, it's really nice having the RV because to us, it's like walking out of the house into house number 2 and off we go.
Yeah, that's terrific. It's and I know that a lot of folks have been using them on the front lines as isolation units, and we here at the RV Advisor and our 501c3, the RVACA, we've been getting units, RVs out to folks on the front lines to help them. So they're great. RVs are great in more ways than one, that's for sure. So we want to learn a little bit about Waterline.
Okay.
You're an editor there, and I'm assuming you do a fair amount of writing yourself. What kind of I know obviously it's largely devoted to fishing and boating. But tell us a little bit about some of the stories that you've worked on recently.
Well, yeah, I'm an editorial staff writer, so I do submit stories every week. And I alternate it. It alternates between bass fishing and between RVs. The beauty of it being editorial is the topics are all mine. So what I decide I want to write about is what gets put into the magazine. And what's been kind of fun about it is this RV that we have now, we just bought back in last August. Prior to that, we had a smaller one that we had for 3 years. And I can tell you almost every time out, there's another learning experience for me somewhere. And the articles just kind of fall in line. I mean, it just comes to me because of the things that we do while we're riding around or while we're, going from town to town or whatever we're doing. So it's really kind of nice. The fishing side of it, writing is very easy for me because of the tournament fishing, the practicing. I'm in my boat, as much as I can possibly be.
Yeah. And
all the techniques and different ways to catch bass and do different things. That's a never ending topic list. But with the RV, because I don't quite get into as much as I do the boat, although it's still so new, I still find all kinds of things to write about. So I haven't had any issues with that so far.
Yeah. There's writer's block is not a thing, right?
Nope. And once I get started, it comes fast and quick.
That's good. And I'm sure, I would imagine that, every time out, it's a new adventure. There's maybe something new learned, new people you maybe you run into and connect with and share stories with, and fishing tales and those kinds of things. And just stuff that you learn. Maybe I know that I wouldn't call myself an expert fisherman by any stretch, because I'm really not. I used to do more fishing when I was a kid than I do now. But they're always developing flies and different things, new kinds of lures and that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
That's like a thing. I mean, that's a real. There's always the next new improvement or whatever, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as far as the baits go, everybody's got something they like, whether it's color, size, shape, whatever it may be. So when you're talking about something like a soft plastic bait, I actually designed a worm years ago, and I had a gentleman in Michigan making it for me, and we tweaked it around and we messed with it a little bit, and he finally got it exactly the way I wanted. And it was probably the single most producing lure of big bass that I had on the Kissimmee chain of lakes. Unfortunately, he went through a divorce and quit making them, and finding somebody now to do that for me has been pretty tough. As a matter of fact, I think I've got 10 of those worms left, and I'm only send them out to people that are seriously interested in potentially copying them or making them for me.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's maybe you've run into this right person and, become a whole new cottage industry, you just never know, what can happen. And Florida, is one of the truly great states for fishing. Not only are we completely, as a peninsula, not only are we completely surrounded by the Gulf and then on the other side of the Atlantic, and then, there's, throughout the Keys and also interior. I mean, and you got Lake Okeechobee, and then just hundreds and hundreds of smaller lakes and things to go fishing. Are there any particularly favorite hideaways for you to drop a line?
Oh, I love the big lakes. I love Okeechobee.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the St. Johns River. I like fishing Kissimmee. There's some other lakes that are in the state. There's one called Lake Walking Water, which is down across Highway 60 from Kissimmee, which has some just fantastic fish in it. Smaller lake, but at one time was heralded as one of the biggest big bass lakes in the state of Florida. So yeah, there's a few around that I really enjoy going to. And, first thing we always do is we look to make sure there's an RV site on the water and make sure the ramp's good enough. And if it'll hold and it'll go, we go.
You're there.
We took a run up to Lake Gunnersville in Alabama after we bought the RV. And that was a lot of fun. I mean, being able to take the boat and take the RV and going into a big park like they offer was phenomenal. So, and they've got some excellent bass fishing.
What kind of RV do you have?
Real fast.
What kind of RV do you have?
We bought a 38-foot Jayco Embark. I guess the model number on it is actually a 37 MB, but we found one here at RV1 off of I-4 in Plant City area, and we weren't looking to actually buy one that big. We were there to look at a 31. And for those that know my wife, if there's something sitting on the showroom floor that she likes,
that's it.
At times it has a way to find its way home.
Yeah, maybe keep her out of the jewelry stores for a while, right?
No. It's funny. There's no restrictions. She works hard. She works hard. Yep, she works hard and she does her thing. So she's entitled to whatever, however she wants.
Wow, that sounds like the foundation for a long-lasting, fruitful marriage. I'm happy to hear that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, well, listen, it's been a lot of fun to chat with you. I would like you to let folks know a little more on Waterline, where they can go. And I know that it's, you go to yoursun.com. It's your sun.com. And you can find Waterline. But, tell us just a little bit about what people can expect to find there, or if they're looking for specific departments, places to go, that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, the magazine in and of itself is the gentleman who puts it all together. His name is Josh Olive, and he's been excellent, through all this time, all the stuff we're going through. I know it's been hard on Suncoast Media, but Josh has done a really good job. Magazine, if you go to the website, I always, even to this day, I still just type in the Waterline under Sun Media and I find it, pull it up, and everything in there is just really easy to navigate and real easy to work with. If you want to find your favorite writer, you can find them, you can search them out using the tools in there. Just a real simplistic, kind of a straightforward from the writers that are on the magazine of what you're looking for. They do a lot of saltwater because they are located out of Port Charlotte, and that's why they have quite a few captains and things in that area that do write. And those guys are really good, and they're very dedicated to what they do.
Yeah.
So it's really a self-explanatory site when you go in there and you start poking around.
Great. Well, once again, it is yoursun.com, and then that's spelled S-U-N, as opposed to the other way you spell sun. Yoursun.com, and that's Waterline magazine online. And I'm again, very comprehensive. I get a chance to look through it a little bit, and it's terrific, and a lot of great information, a lot of great articles, including those by our guest today, Mr. Greg Bartz. Greg, we really do appreciate your time, and please stay safe.
Always, Tom. You do the same, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. My name is Tom Alexander. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.